What's going on, everybody? It is the leader of Letterbomb Drift on Forza Horizon 1, and just like I stated last time, I will be reviewing most of my drift cars. Um, this is going to be an audio video only. Um, yes, I have not been able to get to my Xbox for a very long time, but I've listed most of my drift cars. Um, first one, first one I'm gonna review is the 240SX. I have a lot of engine setups for this one. I have the KA20, the KA24, I think. Yeah, it's called KA24. Um, that's fully maxed out on. It's running street tires. It's got a camper setup, which I had a friend mod. Um, I have a high-powered RB26 setup. It's running 630 horsepower. Now, I used to have that on race, and it didn't give me any trouble. Um, I guess one day I got bored and I decided to, because I have a friend that does a lot of street tire drifting, so I just decided to put it on streets, and it actually felt really nice. So I just left it there, and it hasn't given me that much trouble. Um, and then let's see, the SR20 setup that's running about 480 horsepower. Again, camber, stock tires, as well as the KA24 setup. Um, Not any problems. Um, but anyway, and then I made a R35 GTR motor setup. Forgot what it's running. I think it's running 480. No, 585, something around that. Uh, that one I need to work on, and I don't like the setup of it. Again, it's running street tires, no camber. Um, that I have to fiddle with, and the only reason I keep it as of now is because I just want all the motor setups. But yeah, I'll hit each one briefly. Um, KA24 setup with the camber, street tires. Um, um, a lot of what I've noticed is if you put the stock diff in, it actually helps with just not necessarily angle. I mean, it does help you get a little more angle in some cars, in most cars. But when you go to that breaking point of angle where you're going to spin out, the stock diff actually comes into play right there, and it makes the car a lot easier to save. Like, basically, when you're holding your breath because you think you're going to spin it, the stock diff really comes into its own. Again, most of my 240s are running stock diff and a few others of my drift cars. But onto the SR20. That feels about the same as the KA24. It does tend to spin a little more, or not, well, it spin out a little more often, but I guess like probably because I'm not as I'm not used to being as finesse. And let's see. Oh, um, I have two RB26 setups, both running, and well, one's running street, one's running stocks, but the stock tires, it's 485 horse. I've been fooling around with it. Started at 460, and that actually is my favorite setup to drift. It feels very nice. There's not a lot of trouble with it. I mean, occasionally I do spin out, but who doesn't? It actually feels very comfortable. The 630 horsepower RB26 setup spins out a lot. You have to counter steer that bastard like hell. But yeah, I need to work on that, and I might keep it, I might change it, I don't know yet. GTR R35 setup, again, not pulling the angle I would like, but still, I keep it because I'd like to have all the engine setups. And then now on to my next car, the M3 GTR. I believe it's the free DLC BMW. Feels pretty good. It feels pretty solid. It's running 622 horsepower on race tires. I think it's got the race diff in it again. But onwards, the M3 E30 BMW. That's the 1991 M3. Overall, it's good. I don't like the fishtail. There's a lot of fishtail with that car. And it's running like, I think it's 499 horse on race tires, maybe more, I don't know, I forget. But anyway, if you have any tips on how I can improve, how I can minimize that fishtail, let me know. Next one is the GT500. Now that has since changed since last time, or since months ago. It was originally running up in the 800s on race tires. It was specifically built to be a second gear drifter, but it could drift in third, but you couldn't have a lot of pedal work. It was exclusively made for Eagle Ridge second gear drifter. I have since changed that to 680 horsepower. All it's got on it is a race exhaust and a race suspension. Feels very nice. It could get up there and challenge my 240 SX for, for its angle. Next one we have a Trueno. Now that's among the common drift cars. Oh, also that GT500 is running a stock diff, by the way, on stock tires. But anyway, the Trueno, I have both engines. I have like everything. I have a 4AG that's turbocharged, supercharged, and then naturally aspirated. They all feel good, but the NA, yeah, might need to work on it. I don't know. But then again, it's pretty much maximum tuned for that engine without the turbo. But I don't know, I need to figure it out. I need to, maybe putting sport tires on it would help. But the 4AG supercharged and turbocharged, the engine's max, the 4AG is tuned to the max. It's running race tires, feels very good. But the supercharged is more for Carson, and the turbocharged is more for Eagle Ridge. And then I have the two GAZ swap in the Trueno. I have one turboed, one single. The single actually feels a little bit better than the twin. And then I am actually working on getting the 2JZ that's naturally aspirated. And again, this is a glitch. It's not a mod. You can do it on some cars. You can make a turbo car naturally aspirated. As long as it has an aspiration swap. For example, if it comes with a single turbo and you can swap it out for a twin, or if it comes for a twin and you can swap it out to a single or a supercharger, if it comes supercharger turbocharged and you can swap it to another turbocharged or supercharged, you can make it NA. And possibly in this video, after I get done reviewing, or a later video, I will tell you how. But anyway, yeah, I'm getting a 2JZ naturally aspirated, trying to get it dialed in, but it has not gone so well. Next car is the 302 Boss. It's a DLC 2013 Mustang. I believe this is part of my 2 upgrade class. It's only got a race exhaust, a race suspension, feels very nice, drifts in third, and that's actually saying a lot because it's only got like 495 horse. And that's on stock tires. Feels pretty good. I might need to mess with it a bit, but I don't really have any plans to mess with it in the near future. Probably in like a few months when it starts giving me problems. But yeah, overall it feels solid. ZL1 Camaro. I actually have 2 of these. One is pushing 950 horse, and the other is only pushing 600, 599 to be exact. And this actually got me started on my 2 upgrade class. This was the first car I started on. I liked the angle, and I thought, maybe I could make more of these, and, I have about 5 of them. But anyway, yeah. And all of these, near stock cars, with the 2 upgrades, exhaust and suspension, they're running a stock diff, stock transmission. Basically the only 2 upgrades out of the whole upgrade section is, race exhaust, race suspension, nothing else. And that feels pretty solid. Does give me problems here and there, but I could, it's not a car I would take in a competition, but I mean, maybe the stock one I would consider taking in the competition, but not the 950. I still have to work on that. Brings me to my next car, the S15 Silvia. I fiddled around with this quite a bit. I'm now pushing high horsepower in RB26, 656 or something like that. I used to be running, this was the first car I started drifting, and when I started drifting, it was like 400, it was really low horsepower. Of course, I was automatic drifter, but that's beside the point. Then I upped it to 498, that felt good for a bit, and then I went to manual, and then I had to change everything up. And I wanted to run the stock motor, but it just gave me a boatload of problems. If you don't get on the gas just right when you come out a corner, well, actually no, it's not the gas, it's the angle that's the problem. You can't come out hauling that much angle, or it's just the rear end's going to come around on you. And that's the problem I face. So I asked people, and they're like, throw the RB in it, and I did, and it felt better, so I just kept it. Next car, 2002 BMW. Have 2 of these, but one setup I'm going to go over in particularly. The S15 feels pretty nice, by the way. But 2002 BMW, that is the 73 BMW. The setup that I have on it, it's 499 horsepower. It's naturally aspirated. It gets good angle. I like it. Pretty solid. Next car I drift, it's not even a car, it's a van. It's the big GMC Vandora. Forget which pack it's in. But considering its weight its size, I can haul some pretty good angle. I mean, not as much as I'd like to, but it is very, very likable, the angle. But both the 2002 BMW GMC is solid. 69 Charger is my next one. A friend actually set one up for me, and I actually like it. It's not one I'd recommend for competition, though. It's freaking like flash in the corners. I mean, yes, it gets good angle. Yes, it has smooth transition. Yes, but it's just too fast. So unless it's like a one round, you know, where I can say, oh, I want to lead, and then, you know, judge just on that, you know, then by all means use it. But I would just stay away from it unless you're just competing, unless you're just drifting with friends. But that's, you know, it's fully upgraded with the 2012 Charger motor, race tires, and all that. Pretty solid. Again, wouldn't recommend it for competition use. Next one we have is 69 Camaro. I played around with the transmission on this, but overall I think it's got the Corvette motor, the ZR1 Corvette motor, and it's a third gear drifter. It's pretty solid. I don't drift it that much, but still. Next car, the SR, it's the 71 Skyline. It's swapped to an SR20, and that's actually one of the lowest horsepowers that I have. It's running 350, and you would expect from the crap of from low end torque is just crap for the SR20. You would expect that does not drift at all, if any, but it does. And I have to say, I am very pleased with how the 71 Skyline SR20 swapped drifts. Actually, one of my best drift cars. Next one, the Sierra Cosworth. I actually bought this one with a plan in mind. I wanted to just V8 swap it. GT500 GT500 motor. I did, and I mean, it's not really competition. It has its fair amount of troubles, but still a good car. Next one, I actually just got back into drifting this after I gave it to my friend. The C2 Corvette 67 Stingray. You know, it's stock motor, carb. Actually, this is starting a new class for me, but I'll get into those later. Yeah, stock. So stock motoring, you could pretty much infer it's, you know, stock or street tires, but I think it's like 500 horsepower. Very good drifter. Not really recommended for competition, but all around solid. The 2012 Challenger SRT8. I think this is actually part of my 2 upgrade class, or one of them is at least. Actually one of the heaviest ones I have, but it gets good angle, and I actually like the angle. I'm pretty pleased. You know, it's not up there with my GT500 and my 240, but it gets close. It gets close for its weight. 2012 Charger is my next one, and that's just stiff as hell. I mean, I can drift it, but it's very hard. Freaking everything has to be right. It's very stiff. It freaking just wants to just push down on the inside line. It wants to hit the inside wall. There's just barely anything you can do. So a lot of work needs to be done on that. Next one is the M135i. Again, that's the BMW hatchback. It's, I believe, the DLC, or one of them. Um, Actually, it's a little bit stiff, but I can drift it. It's pretty solid. It does have its fair amount of fails, but you know, I could work around it. It's 480 horsepower. You know, stock tires is pretty good. Oh, 2012 Charger again. That's part of my 2 upgrade class, but it's got a little more work done. Same with the Challenger. So yeah, they're running about. The Charger, I believe, or actually no, both the Challenger and Charger are running about 500 or 600 horse rather. But onto the, you know, onto another one of my drift cars, the F100. It's a truck. It's part of the free DLC. It's the 56 Ford. Um, 750 horsepower on race tires, and I thought this would be a bit excessive, but actually no. It actually is pretty solid. 2012 Jag would be my next one. Again, part of my 2 upgrade class. Race exhaust, race suspension. I just bought this over spring break, which was like mid-March. Haven't had a lot of time with it. Doesn't carry the angle that I would like, but it's solid. Not competition, but all around fun. Pretty solid. Don't really plan on changing that. The SR1 Corvette, or the ZR1, sorry. Again, part of my 2 upgrade class, and it's pretty solid. Wouldn't recommend it for competition, but solid. FRS, it's a Scion. It's hard to get the wheels spinning at low end torque, so I might up the horsepower, but then again, if I do, you know, it's kind of has that snap oversteer in a way. It's kind of weird to explain, or hard to explain rather, but don't really plan on changing that unless I really need to, and I don't really need to. So yeah, FRS pretty much the same thing. Both the FRS and the BRZ are pretty solid. They both have the same problem. It's hard to get the wheel spinning at low RPM, but you know, I can, and that's what counts. So, able to keep the drift going. Oh, and next one, the Hyundai Genesis. It's freaking like a tank, man. Like a tank in a bad way. Like freaking, it feels heavy as fuck. It's a third gear drifter, so that doesn't go together. So that I might need to do, you know, low horsepower street tires. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So that one needs some work. Next one, the 91 MX5. I had to play around with this. Small car, it spins out easy. Not really getting the angle I like, but don't really plan on changing it. Next one, the 69Z. I actually built this one a while ago, but I haven't drifted it much. But overall, it's pretty good. Don't plan on changing it. It's the 69 Fairlady Z, I think I stated, but I don't know. Next one, and I have a bunch of these, as well as the 240 and the RX-7 and some of the others. The 370Z, a little hard to explain. you can't transition it as violent, or else it'll just spin around. But I think I have like 704 horsepower in that on race tires. Might change it, might not, I don't know. But that's pretty solid. Next one would be the 95 Mustang Cobra R. Now I've noticed something. You could drift this one of two ways. Actually one of three ways. You could jam it in second and leave it there and drift it, or you could jam it in third and leave it there and drift it, or you could switch between second and third, but it's just a matter of what corner and what gear. I found that second works best for the first one. You upshift it to third, initiate downshift, go around the first, and then sweep, and then right in the middle, right when you're about to unload the rear suspension to get the weight back on the front end to swing around for the next corner. Right when you're about to do that, just upshift it to third and take that second corner. Actually, might be the other way around. I know it's either second, third, second, or third, second, third. Not too sure. But either way, the points where you upshift or downshift are the same. Right when you're about to unload the rear tires and put weight back on the front end to swing you around, that's when you want to do your shifting, if you're going to go for that method. Next car would be the Supra. Actually, there was a little bit of work that went into this. Actually, a lot. As we all know, standard 2JZ engine. You know, some of them are single turbo, some of them are twin. Instead of the standard 850 that everyone likes to run with third gear, you know, drifting, I actually planned this to be second gear because I just like the pickup and low RPM, and it's not too much. It's, you know, it's just right. So 754 horsepower on race tires, and it gets the job done. Really solid. Mustang is solid also. Last one is the RX-7. I actually have the same setup, just one's twin turbo, one's single. Single turbo, a lot of fishtail, but still solid. Twin turbo, not so as much fishtail, but still kind of there. And not really digging that fishtail, but I don't know, you get what you pay for. That's the end of this list of cars. I'm gonna go over more in the future. I'm gonna see if I can get my crew posting videos. There's 2 people that I know have access to this account, or well, 1 person that I know, and there might be a second, I don't know. Few shout outs. And I forgot to shout out to this guy last time, Cyber Linux. He has tried out I don't know how many times. Finally got in. Congratulations to him. Again, shout out to my co-founder, my co-leader. Same Lucky, or Ember Digital as he was once called, and TMG Swagmaster. You guys do an awesome job with this YouTube thing, this Instagram thing. Again, my personal page, I made a mistake in my last video, letterbombdrift.sleepy, S1EEP is the way you put sleepy in my Instagram, and our group page is letterbomb.drift, and feel free to follow both of those pages on Instagram. Not really too sure what I'm going to be doing in my next video. Probably a drift tutorial, maybe. If not, I'll brush up on just some of these cars and quickly go over a review while I'm filming myself drift. Who knows? Any ideas for setups, any tips that you guys have come across, greatly appreciated, and might even be considered. Maybe even a shout out in my next video. Huge possibility. But yeah, just rate the video and comment away. See you guys later.